52 looking good on the Fowler and Friends Morning Show. I want to welcome Charles back to the studio this morning. Charles, you a little bit under the weather last week.
Well, yeah, let's just
you feel better.
I'll feel better. Let's just say it. I got my first bout of COVID.
Oh my God.
And it took me down for a little bit.
Been there twice.
I don't want to be there twice. It was tough.
Yeah.
And I know we talked about trying to do it over there. We got Dr. Baloga, our new interim president, with us this morning, and we had her scheduled for last week.
You know what? She was on the list of our guests for last week, Charles, and you got sick.
I got sick, so rather than trying to do it on the phone, and I was ambitious. I told Dennis, I said, I'll just call in, and we'll just do it over there, and you and Monica can put headphones on. You can hear me. Man, I didn't see daylight. I didn't see daylight Thursday at about noon.
No, but here's the thing. Dr. Baloga's here. But the thing is, most women don't like to put the headphones on because it messes up their hair.
Yeah.
You know? So I knew that. I knew that, so that's why I didn't put you in that position. So you would have to wear the headphones.
I thank you for taking care of me. You were thinking of me.
I was looking after you before you ever got to studios.
Absolutely, and thank you for letting me be here. And I do want to say, Charles, as someone who had COVID for the first time over Christmas, you made the wise choice to stay home and take care of yourself for sure.
The three of us
Thank you for allowing me to
is not
too.
one bit of fun, is it?
It is not.
So I'm sitting over here with my throat lozenges because I'm still feeling a little puny, but I'm not contagious anymore, so that's good. And it's so good to have Dr. Baloga in. I keep calling her Monica. When you know somebody, I know, but Dennis, you'll remember Joey Preston used to be the county administrator in Cherokee County, and Joey went to Anderson County, and then
so did you.
So I went about a year later and became an assistant county administrator over there with Joey, and would call him Joey because he's my friend. And then we were in a meeting at some point with the other associates, and I called him Joey, and afterwards he said, "Man, it's just Joey. It's Joey when it's me and you, but it's got to be Mr. Preston when everybody else is around." So good morning, Dr. Baloga.
Good morning, Mr. Wyatt. How are you?
Oh God, I hate that. No, never mind.
See
I don't
how
like that at all. I
feels?
don't like that at all.
I understand that certain thought process.
That's right.
Though there is a time and a place for it, but we're among friends.
That's
so
right,
let's
absolutely.
be friendly.
Well, Fowler and Friends show.
That's why we call it Fowler and
exactly.
Friends.
That's exactly.
So
right.
welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
It's good
Thank
to see
you.
First time Dr. Baloga and I met. You remember that?
I do. I remember.
You remember what was going on?
I was new as a provost at that time.
And do you know what was going on the day we met?
No, I don't remember that. I'm so sorry. What was going on?
We were breaking ground for Hines and Reeves.
We were,
That's
absolutely.
exactly right.
There could have been any answer I could have given there because there was a lot of momentum going on at the university at that time.
What a momentous occasion.
It was a momentous occasion. And,
you were there. You were coming in for the first time, and wow, what a building!
And had her in studio just a short time later.
That's right.
To introduce.
We sure did.
So we're going to kind of reintroduce her today. I think the biggest thing, Dr. Baloga, that I hear in the community, besides you've been here a while, so folks know you, right? First female president, and I don't say you shy away from that, but 1845 we started out as a institution for women, higher learning, first in the state, third in the nation, I think. And then 177 years later, here you are as the first president. And not to say that you push back from that, but you've got to understand, I'm sure, the magnitude of that role.
It truly is. And if you look across higher education, roughly a third of the presidents in higher education right now are women. And so we're seeing a lot more of that emphasis in higher education. And it's not lost on me that I am the first female president. I'm grateful for it. It's very humbling, actually.
You weren't expecting that when you came in, were you?
I was not. It was a little bit of a, this did not happen the traditional way, but I'm glad to be here, and really my whole heart and soul is behind this university.
Yeah.
And
I think you've exemplified that already.
Well, I appreciate that. I realize I've got a strong foundation that I'm working from, so it's not lost on me the people who've come before me and built this institution into what it is, including people in this room. So
thank you.
Very good work.
Well, you surround yourself with good people, and only good things can come. from that, right?
That's the secret of leadership. Put good people around you, right?
That's why Casey Barnhill's here from our office,
I gotta
right?
say, KC beat you two.
Yeah. Casey's upset. We're recording all this. We're
Just
gonna
because he
push
was
this
here
out.
6 this morning.
We're gonna push it. Isn't it Lou Holtz that said, "Why in the world I hire people dumber than me? Why wouldn't I hire people smarter than me?"
You always do that.
So he's the first guy I grabbed.
You hire up, right?
Always hire up. Dr. Baloga's our 23rd president. I asked her jokingly one day. I said, the president of the United States, a lot of times, especially like Secret Service, refers to them by their number. You remember? And I said, "Can I call you 23?" And she said, "No, you can't. No, I really don't want you to." I don't think she would have cared. But our 23rd president and it's taken over. Monica, what's it been like these first couple of weeks for you?
Well, the first couple of weeks has really just been getting the message out that Limestone is resilient. We are moving forward. We're always thinking about the future. And so that's been a lot of my messaging, is talking to constituents, to the community, to students, to faculty and staff, just about the fact that we're here. Limestone is here. We've been around for almost 178 years. And I just wanted to get that message out. Next, it's talking about the future. We continue to talk about the future while shoring up today. And so that has been much more, that's been the change to my day. Otherwise, I've been dealing with faculty and staff. Now I'm dealing with the bigger community, because the community is what helps support the institution.
Even a town hall with the students, right? Coming up, is that
coming up with the students?
Monday? Is it next Monday? I think it's
That's a
Monday.
good question.
I think it's
it
Monday.
is the
Yeah, I
Monday.
think it's Monday the 20th. I think.
The 20th, I've already, the faculty already have access to me, so I talk to them on a regular basis. This event such as this helps me to get out to the community as well.
Sure.
I've been meeting with community members individually. Again, just wanting to show that leadership is out there.
Well, as big a role as Limestone plays in the community, it's a hub. And Charles, you and I have talked about this numerous times, how big of a hub it is. Sometimes the backdrop to not only photos, but for events, because Limestone has Fullerton, Limestone has, the dining hall, has all these things that help the community. And not only that, but people like to stroll the campus.
Well,
How many people do you see out there just walking for their health, and they're walking on campus? And that's something that you guys invite people to do. Come out and see us and enjoy what's here.
Oh, I think you think of the historic, part of the campus, the front campus, but now the Bob Prevet complex and all the park space. It's much more than an athletic facility. It's a community gathering space. Dennis called me a couple of 3 or 4 Saturdays ago, and I was at home.
That was on a Sunday, Charles.
Was it a Sunday?
Yeah, it was on a Sunday. He don't remember what day
It was a Sunday, and I do remember this. I was pumping gas. I can remember. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm on my way back from Gatlinburg or wherever."
I was.
And there's a group that was supposed to call and ask if they could take some pictures inside Winnie Davis. Can you make that happen? And I said, "Yeah, man. I'll call campus security. They're great."
Yeah, they did.
the police
And
department
those
came out and did
folks, they dropped the ball, and they should have called you before,
That's all right.
obviously, and they didn't do it, so they called me because they knew I had your number.
That's right.
But you got, it was like, it wasn't like, let's go through paperwork and let's do all these things. Let's jump through hoops. Charles made one call. He said, "No problem, hang on," and made it happen for these folks in the Community Society who wanted to take their photos inside Winnie Davis, which is an absolute beautiful facility.
It's a gem. It's a gem of a facility. The history behind it and just the interior look of it. It just adds so much to the campus environment. We also have Limestone Lake. Is that what we call it?
Lake Limestone.
Lake Limestone.
You know what we call it?
We call it the quarry. Right?
From the quarry.
Stay out of the quarry. That's what you got.
So there's just a lot to the campus. I get really pleased when I walk down to the dining hall and I see so many community members eating lunch there with the students. I think that's just fabulous. I love that whole just the whole feel of that is wonderful.
Speaking of that, I always love these stories when people come to Limestone for the first time. And we may have asked you this before when you were on before, but you came here from an institution in Florida. Now you're from Tennessee,
I am.
And you've got family. I know in the
You
state.
don't play
or
Rocky
something.
Top, do you?
I do not. I see looks being exchanged here.
If you remember Mike Smith, who used to be in our athletic department,
Yes.
I've listened to Rocky Top a lot with
sure you
Smitty. With Smitty. But you came here up from Florida. But tell me this. Always love these stories. So apparently, we reached out, or the institution reached out, and I'm sure you did some phone stuff or Zoom stuff, but first time you step on campus. I'm sure you've not been to Limestone before. So first impression when you get here.
The first impression was just the historical significance of it. When you see that 1845, you're just transported. You're in present, but you're transported back as well. And I just couldn't help but visualize, what did this look like back in 1845? Who was coming in and out of that door? And what did that look like? What were these buildings utilized for? The people that they were named after. What is that historical significance of the names associated with the buildings? That's something that I didn't have coming from an institution in Florida that was 50 years old. Right. Very different provenance there. There's just not that same thing. So that was really my impression, is the people who trod on the ground before me as I was stepping onto that campus for the first time.
Charles, you and I both know that many of those people who make up the alumni continue to support Limestone throughout their life.
Oh, absolutely.
And even at their death.
Absolutely.
There's gifts that go to Limestone to keep it up, because they have that kind of tie to the institution.
Our former president, Dr. Walt Griffin, would always say, any guy at KC maybe can remember what, but there's a quote from a book or from someone that said, "Find a small college and fall in love with it. And if you'll do that, you'll have a happy life." Right. And for so many of us, and I'm an alum, my family's an alum, that's true. I mean, those 20,000 living alums that you're talking about found a small college in Gaffney.
Those people who went to other institutions, Clemson, University of South Carolina, went there, but came to they're natives of Gaffney, and they still latch on to Limestone. And you see them at Limestone events like football. They're out there tailgating, having fun, and Limestone becomes their local college that they've latched on to.
Absolutely. Well, athletics is your front door, right?
That's right.
What they say. And so I think Dr. Baloga and I have talked about it many times before. Dennis, with us doing Gaffney football games on Friday night, nothing tickles me more as somebody that works at Limestone on a Gaffney Friday night football game. And you got a big showdown with Spartanburg or Burns or whoever it is, and you see this blue and gold walk through the gate that they've got their Limestone stuff on. And then it tickles me on Saturdays to see the black and gold come through the gate from the Gaffney and the Blacksburg students, and all that they're gravitating to Limestone that way. So it works both ways. That synergy that we have now with the community, that town and gown feeling that we've always had that. Like you talked about, coming and taking the pictures and all those sorts of things. And I know, Dr. Baloga, for you, that's a priority too, to continue that town and gown relationship. As we go out, we got some folks we're going to be talking to soon for you to get to know them. They know you, but maybe get to know you a little better to make sure that we're ingrained in this community.
I will say, as an academician and provost, I did spend a lot of my time in the office, so this does give me more time to get out. But
you like it?
I like it, and I really want to say, along the lines of Limestone community, I have met parents now who are so passionate about their students being at Limestone. I have met alumni who have told me amazing things about their dedication to the institution. And I've not seen that in other places before, just in talking amongst higher education. I think we have a special group of people here, and they're welcoming. Anybody is welcome in to that community, because we're all bonded by Limestone. It really truly is has been a spectacular way to communicate and learn.
Yeah,
so I've appreciated that.
And I tell you, I've heard it out in the community too, and I'll use athletics for an example. But I've just feedback that I get so much, I'll hear. It was so great seeing Dr. Baloga out at the first softball game. It was so great seeing Dr. Baloga out at the basketball game in the Legacy Lounge, and not just up in the lounge, but down on the floor and speaking to people. How you've kind of jumped in with both feet to be a part of it. I think you always have. It's just like I said, a provost role is different. You kind of step back and you let the president do their thing, and so now you get to step into those shoes, and it's being recognized that folks see that you're out there and a part of it.
Well, that's good, and I'm going to encourage people, come up and introduce yourselves to me too, because I'm going to do the best I can to get out and meet people. But I just love the whole idea of, again, being available, being open. So feel free to approach me. I think you can vouch for me that I'm pretty approachable.
Absolutely.
So I'm very happy to do that. In terms of town and gown, getting back to that, I can't wait to do more of that. I think that is something with COVID we tremendously missed, and I know that I was very much a part of that at my former institution. I really wanted to get into that climate here at Limestone as well, so I'm really looking forward to that piece of it.
Monica, challenges ahead? What is there things on the front of your plate that you're like, hey, we gotta, sometimes you gotta stabilize before you can grow? Is there some things on your plate right now that, hey, these are my priorities right this moment?
Yeah, there are priorities. I think there has been obviously reports out there in terms of Limestone and our need to financially stabilize. That we can't hide that. That is a reality, and that's what we're working on. We have a new interim vice president for finance and administration who's been really amazing at digging deep and helping us get to the bottom, to the root causes, and helping us to find solutions. And so really it is getting through the rest of this fiscal year. That's our biggest effort this year, and then really planning for next year as well. We have some changes that are coming up, some good changes, things that will help us to build really continue to build the institution the way that we're looking for.
I think that I saw some other reports that you were wanting to be very transparent
Yes.
with going forward and things you were doing, and to keep Limestone on the right track.
Very much so, and in fact I've tried to be as open as I can when rumors come up. I've tried to address them. Many of the things that are coming out now were things we were already talking about anyway. It's the course of normal business in higher education.
Right.
We do talk about program closing. We do talk about just different things that have come up. We do periodically have to increase our tuition now, not to the percentage that the rumors were out there, but these are all normal course of
Cost of
business
doing
things.
business.
Right, it's just the cost of doing business. So there's not been a decision made yet based on some of the information we're finding out, but as we do find it, we will be transparent and disclose.
Absolutely, and you're doing that. We've referenced KC being here too. Dr. Baloga puts out a video message every week to the campus community, to the Limestone community. We put it on social media. Our appearance, Dennis, because you get the scoop. You're the first one to get the president in studio and sit down with you.
Hey, she could have been here a week early.
If I hadn't gotten sick.
We did have to give a week.
I'm
Let
going to
Charles
tell you,
recover a
I'm going to
little
let you
bit.
know, Dr. Baloga, I invited you early on when you were first elected.
Yes.
And Charles said, well, let's give it a week.
Let her breathe.
Hey, I opened the doors for you.
I will thank you for that. It was I was really running full force at
I know
that
you
time,
were.
so
I know
it
you
was good to give me just a little bit of ground, a little bit of time.
Just trying to
recover.
introduce you to folks here.
Yes, and I appreciate it, and it's really is very important, and I'm so grateful.
I
Speaking of
appreciate you being here.
absolutely. Speaking of the transparency, you talk about moving forward. Folks know we've announced it, making improvements to Saints Field, and let's
Mike Furry was in here.
Oh, that's why I wanted to bring it up.
Had him on the show, and of course, you know how energetic he is.
Very wonderful, very energetic, just the right thing that we need for Limestone. I'm truly grateful that he's part of that.
And I think the part of the transparency is again, you want to dispel rumors, and you hear folks say, "Oh, this money's being raised for football." No, it's not. It's being raised for Saints Field.
Absolutely.
6 teams play on that, and Dr. Baloga, I don't know collectively. I know football is well over 100. Lacrosse is nearly 100. We're talking about a facility that probably serves half of our student body just in athletics. And then I know it's your plan to move graduations out there too. So it's while there's other financial things that you have to deal with. You've got to move forward, and part of that is retention and keeping our student athletes happy and competitive. So I say that I think to say Dr. Baloga will probably be knocking on some doors along with Coach Furry and stuff, because we do want to move. We want to stabilize, but we want to move the campus forward.
And thank you for bringing that up. As usual, there is, as with any institution, we have to consider present, but we always consider the future. And so, yes, there will be announcements out there about fundraising efforts for different things across campus, because we don't shut those down at the end of the day. We have to keep moving. And so we do have a campaign out there for bettering certain sports areas, facilities areas, but you're right, we're also going to be out there with the academics as well. The academics is growing. we were on a great trajectory. We still are. And so we will be out there doing what we do in higher education, which is asking for those funds to help move us along.
You've been very successful in the past of getting people to buy into that. Obviously, Charles, look at the improvements they've made. Shannon Hambrick Park.
Oh gosh, that's Hambrick Park, the Cunning Victory Bell Tower, the new softball field.
Did they
We've
ring
got
the bell when
games,
she
we've got
came
games
in?
out there.
Did they ring the
We
bell?
might have. I don't know. I don't know if we did or not. We probably did.
We ring the bell.
We have a.
When you
we have
came
an
in
app.
and you were named.
When we do,
I was named.
Did they ring the bell? That's my
I
question.
was not at a ceremony where they rang the bell. Other than the ring,
we might have rang.
Charles,
I don't know.
did you ring the bell?
I'm gonna have to reach out to Michael Harmon to see over in sports information to see they've got the key to the bell to ring the bell to play the fight song. Something
maybe
like
they
that.
did.
you
It
would've-
just it
We
was.
just didn't know it.
I rung that
just
bell
didn't
for
know
you.
it.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Dr. Bo, I'll ask you this: how many hours a night you sleeping these days?
Probably about 6 hours.
Okay,
a
she's
night
getting
these
some
days. So
sleep.
I am getting some sleep. Yeah. That's working well. I'm the importance. I've been in higher education and in the higher administration long enough to know that if you're not rested, you're not at your best. So I do try to at least get 6 hours of
But
sleep.
she just grind in there too. There's I think it's Kobe Bryant has that great quote that says, "Rest when you're finished, not in the middle."
Right.
So we're right in the middle of it, right? So
Exactly, and you know what? This is the energetic time, and I'm just putting everything I need to into it. There will be time when calmer waters are around, and I'll be able to get all that recovery rest. But I don't even consider it recovery rest. I'm doing quite fine, and I thank you for asking.
When you're doing what you love, it's fun. I'll be honest with you. In cabinet meetings we have with the other vice presidents and stuff, it is so much fun to see everybody rolling up their sleeves and saying, "Hey, we're winning this together." And so many people are. I hear all the time to different folks saying, "Thank you, Dr. Baloga, for leading this charge that we're doing." There's a renewed energy, I think, on campus that people are ready to roll their sleeves up and work hard. Because you mentioned, Dennis, our economic impact on the Cherokee County community is well over $100 million a year. With over, I think we're the third or fourth largest employer in Cherokee County. And then what else? We reach out through our online program, our graduate program that's online. We reach across the country, you know that. We have them reach out to us all the time. I love getting every once in a while Facebook messages from some student who's in Iraq. He's serving our military. So it is far-reaching, but here in the Cherokee County community, it's important for Limestone to be here and to be successful and to grow. And as we grow, the community will grow. Part of the Saints Field project that we talked about. It's not just about, right, Dr. Blow, it's not just about the field.
It is not just about.
It's about developing that part of the city, and hopefully from that comes restaurants and different things over there to make our city better. So I know that's a focus of yours as well.
Think about the improvements that you made around campus by acquiring property that you have enhanced.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And you're going to see more of it. I mean, I think you're going to see not just athletically. I think about the old A.J. Eastwood Library. Let's just be honest with you. That thing was well. What do we call it, Mon? The health.
It's our health sciences building, but it will primarily be in there, and it's our. We had a great. Incoming class of nursing students into our pre-licensure program, and so we will have facilities ready. We're making plans. I'm a plan A, B person, so we've always got plans A and B for how we work through that, and that right there will be a huge attraction and draw for on that academic side for our health sciences.
Sure. That's a building, the old A.J. Eastwood Library. It was there. I spent a lot of time in that library. Chip Hill, who is in our music department,
That was when they had the card catalog.
They had the
I know the card catalog too. Trust me, I'm not.
Catalog.
We knew Dewey.
Yes, we knew Dewey well. Chip was my music appreciation professor, and this tells you, boy, I'm dating myself. We had to go to the A.J. Eastwood Library because you'd have to, there's certain symphonies that you got to listen to, and you had to go and check out the album I know a lot of you kids out there listening don't know what. Ask your mom and dad
I bet
what
you
an
don't know
album,
what albums are
is
more
now,
popular.
right? But we had to go drop the needle on the album.
Yeah.
Now you just you do it on your phone and do all that. But that's a building that was built in the 1960s, and it looks like a building that was built in the 1960s. And so I've seen the plans for what we're doing for it, and it's going to go from this building built in the 1960s, Dr. Baloga, to this state-of-the-art building for the health sciences, and it's exciting. Fundraising is going on for that too.
It's very exciting.
Let me tell you some stories about, well, I can tell you one in particular. We, Charles and I were covering news at the time, and I think you were at the Chronicle at that time, Charles, and we had been to a county council meeting one night, and that was before the days of the internet, and we had instant access to things that we wanted to look up and find, and there was some mention of an industry that was coming, and they were kind of hinting on some things. And so you remember this, Charles? And so we were trying to figure out who this industry was because we wanted to report that. Mm-hmm. And as good reporters as we were, I was just going to brag on ourselves here, but so after the meeting, I said, Charles, we need to go to the library and we need to look up some stuff and see if we can figure out who this is. Of course, the county library was closed, and we went straight out there to the H.A. Eastwood Library,
exactly right.
and we're running through all kind of stuff trying to figure out who this industry was, and we did find it, and we were able to report it. But, hey, even after we were out of school, been out of school for a while, we referenced, and the first thing we thought about was getting that Limestone campus and getting in that library. So
Hey, they didn't ask us for a library card either.
they didn't.
They
They didn't. Hey, is the Cherokee County card still good?
Yeah, we're
Because you guys reciprocate.
Mm-hmm.
Because your students can use the county library and vice versa.
And
right?
vice versa, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how I've
Yeah.
known university libraries to operate across the nation. So
welcome the community in.
I just
Yeah.
thought I'd throw that in.
I'm sure our librarians appreciate that,
Yeah.
and the new library facilities we have are just beautiful,
Yeah.
and so I can't play that up enough either. Go visit. I mean, it is absolutely, that building is gorgeous. The Heinz and Riggin Center, from the first floor to enjoying Starbucks coffee, going up to the second floor and just seeing the students milling about. But in the library, and I actually teach a class in the library, so I've gotten to experience the environment in there. Students are just milling about. They're enjoying that space. It's really creative space. So we've already got some really good state-of-the-art going on campus, and we're just going to continue to grow from there.
Yeah.
Dennis took that tour, and I think when we hadn't finished the building yet, and we had a media tour, remember?
Yes.
And we brought him up, and I can remember being on the third floor and talking to Dennis, and I was like, I think I got a tear in my eye. This is limestone? Really? This is what we
Well,
are?
you could stand there, kind of in the center, and you could look to the right, and you could see all across the academic side of the campus, and then you could look to the left, and all those beautiful athletic complexes over there. Like, wow.
It was situationally placed very
Yeah.
well in terms of looking out at the position. It was really, whoever came up with that. That was obviously before I got here, but it was beautifully done.
Absolutely. Before we let you go, Dr. Baloga, just real quickly, tell us a little bit about you. I know we had you here, before when you were the provost, but tell us a little bit about your family, and again, a little bit about where you're from, and you got some family there, but it's your immediate family. Tell us a little bit about, just so folks know you personally.
Well, my husband, Bruce Furrow, has very proudly taken on the title of first husband. So he.
How's that working out for him?
He's thrilled with it. He is my best support. He supported me all throughout, and is my best advocate and cheerleader. So he. We do live in Spartanburg. He works in Greenville, so we had to find that in-between area, but we enjoy where we live. My daughter, Abigail, she is a junior at Spartanburg High School. We're thinking about that whole college tour thing, and got a few locals in on our list of places to go visit. But we have really enjoyed living here. We came here from Melbourne, Florida, lived there for 24 years where I worked at an institution of higher education. But I was really raised in Tennessee. I am a Southern girl at heart, even though my parents are Northern transplants. That's where we grew up. And so I wanted to get back to the South. And Florida is great, but I wanted to be back near family. I do have a sister in Newberry that helps in terms of having family close by. And so we've just really enjoyed our stay here. Got a great church family that I belong to in Spartanburg as well. So it has been a joy to live in this area, especially it's beautiful. Just beautiful. It's just gorgeous. I've missed a fall season, and to be able to experience fall again, that's been great.
I think that's fantastic.
We're still waiting on the snow, by the way.
Well,
Yes, really?
You know, we had snow last year. I'm not so much into the snow. I'm okay with no snow.
But oh, by the way, we haven't talked about, you and I haven't had a chance to talk about it. You know, you're the snow person now, right?
That's right.
You know that. You
You
know,
get
to make the call. Like that's every kid's dream growing up.
Charles, remember my first week. My first week at Limestone.
That's right.
We had tornado warnings come through, and Charles is running upstairs because at the time the former president was not available, and he's like, "What do we do?" And I'm like, "Don't you have a protocol?" I don't you have to? And I'm my second day on the job, and I'm like, "What do we do?"
You're the protocol. Like you're in charge.
I said, I don't know what your protocol is, but I'm going under the desk.
There you go.
Do what you want to do.
But by the end of that week, we had snow flurries.
Yeah.
Remember that
Absolutely.
week?
I do.
Where am I?
I think it's every kid's dream, right? That we're old enough to know that you didn't find out that you were out of school. You had to go turn on the news and see it at the bottom. You couldn't go online and do it. But I think all of us want to be able to make that call. That's you now. You get to make that call.
I do.
And I'll be the person calling you at 5 o'clock in the morning, trying my best to talk you into it.
I know
too.
you will.
I saw a
know
flake.
You and probably 100 other people calling me.
I saw a flake, Monica. Call it now. Call it now. Dr. Baloga, thank you for being here. I know you've got such a busy schedule, but Dennis has been on me for a few weeks to get you in here, and thank you for taking the time.
I just had this invitation.
Well,
I
I
had the
do.
invitation. He got sick. You
We're-
could have been here. You could have been here days
I
after you were.
could have. Look at that. But this has been such an enjoyable a conversation. I really do appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome anytime. You know
Let's
that,
do this
right?
more
Yes,
often.
thank
Let's get in. And I know Dr. Baloga seriously is all about transparency. Let's get you in here every once in a while and just give the community an update. We have our own little world, right? Our own little Saints Nation world sometimes with social media too, but it's good to get that out into the community as well. So we'll get you back in here on the Fowler and Friends Morning Show from time to time and talk some more.
KC was in here shooting video today. Will that show up somewhere?
That's going to show up on our campus email in just a little bit. He's got to go take all of these. There's 3 cameras in here, by the way. I don't know if
That's
Casey's
why he got
been
here
on
at
it.
6 o'clock this
He
morning.
beat Dennis here.
It's an impressive
Fitz
setup.
let him in at 5, I think. But he's putting all these cameras, so he's got to go back to the office and do his magic that he does so well. So we'll email that out to the campus community. It will be her video message this week. And then it'll be on our social media, our Facebook, our Instagram, Twitter, everything. You'll be able to hit the link. We'll put it up on YouTube, and you'll be able to see it and hear it and see it a little bit later this afternoon.
All right, good to see you. Dr. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being
Your
here.
leadership there at Limestone, as always.
Thank
And Charles, thank you for being here. Thank you for
great.
arranging. Glad you're feeling better.
Thank you so much. Great to be back. We'll be back next week.
Yeah, Casey, good to see you. Casey's
Always.
kind of in the background taking care of all this. You'll get to see his works later on.
Absolutely.
All right, Fowler and Friends in the Morning on ZZQ.